I received it with this broken. I got about almost 30 bucks knocked off because of it. Excuse me. It was working somewhat, then it quit. I was on checking out 10.7. I couldn't get 455, where the heck that was, 455 at that point, but I could get 10.7, and then after a bit I thought it had a warm-up problem, so a capacitor got more leaky or something, but now I think it's something else. So I'm gonna check some capacitors here in a bit. I'll just pause this for a second. Back on here. This one has a Locto tube, 7F7, still 6.3 filament voltage, obviously, and the 14s are 12.6. The famous 6C4. That. The voltage regulator, a little close, and the 6X5, 6 times 4 is the little bottle, 6 times 4 is the little bottle, 6 times 5 is the big bottle, 6X4. These were knocked out. These work. So I had it turned on. This is the blue face. I like the blue face equipment. I have a couple other. I bought a signal tracer, blue face, just because it was a blue face. Probably paid way too much money for it, but I was going to make it into a guitar amplifier. Well, a signal tracer plus a guitar amplifier. That has a Locto in it too. So, as I'm monkeying around with this thing, where's the 6C4? Way back here. I don't know how to turn a light on this camera. But anyways, this here, right down here, is loose on the 6C4, I noticed. Dark in here. I can see it, but the camera doesn't see it. So right here, keep this on it. Maybe I should have had my floodlight on it. Maybe this will do. What the hell is that capacitor right here? I can't touch it. I'll blocking the light. You see, watch right here, right there by the hole. It was never soldered. So I'm going to pop it out and check it. I think it's 100 mini microfarads. This one here I think is a 0.001, but I'm not sure. And you see it right there. So that intermittent problem might have been why I was getting 10.7, then I started monkeying around with it and I lost it. There's the Locto. The 6C4 is right there. Oh, I should watch this. We don't want to damage that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. transformer, the choke for the audio oscillator, and ouch, sharp metal. The so I'm going to try to restuff these things. I'm going to pull them out and fix it with those yellow jackets or the maroonies, what I have. Is a double gang pot for the attenuator. So it does attenuation for the RF, and I think the backside is the audio. So when you use it just for audio generator, you get the strength, I think. So there's one more of these. I think there's two of these. I don't know where the other one is. There is another one. Thought there was two of those. Not the big one, the smaller size. Thought there was two 100 mini microfarads in here. Oh, right here. I got pop-ups coming up. So I think that's 100 mini microfarads, and then that one. That one. That one. And I think we've got a problem here. They have this here. Was an 820 ohm resistor. It reads like a gain value, but I don't think they have that hooked up in the correct way. They have that, so if you unplug this tube, it just interrupts the capital rectifier. It's like this. Whoops. It's like this. It just, if you pull this tube out, it's still going to run. The B plus will probably go up, but it's not going to have this filtering. So I would like to take this and from 3 and put it to 7, so if this tube's unplugged, then the jumper is disconnected and it will not run. That's not how they have it. They have this resistor going from 3 to 5 instead of 5 to 7. Of course, I make mistakes. I automatically thought the filter capacitor was here, but it's here on pin number 7. So 10 microfarads, I guess. So if I look at that here, pin, it's on 3 and 5, which is this one. I don't know where the index is. The index is right here. This is pin 1. One, two, three. Pin 3 right there. Well, where the resistor goes, 3 to 5. One, two, three. 3's right here. 5's right there. So we need it to go to 5 and 7. So I need it to go to this one, which is, what the hell's this cord in the way for? Should have cut it out. It's no damn good. So we got 8, no. What the hell's the index? 8, 7 is right here. So this 7 just goes to the electrolytic capacitor. To pin 7. So I'll take this off a 3 and put it to here. So it goes from, so the resistor goes from 5 to 3. Am I right? It's on 5 to 3. So it's on 5 to 7. No, 3 to 7. It's got to be on 3 to 7. No, I mean No, I'm screwed up. I got to move it from 3 to 7. Oh, my thinking. Pay attention. So I got to move number 3 over to 7 where the electrolytic is. Plus I'll snip it out. I'll just put the electrolytic there to here and clean it up while I'm reclaiming this capacitor solder. I got to test that 100 mini microfarads, I think. So that's 100 picofarads, I guess. And I don't think there's anything to change in here. Just look at it. Oh, somebody did this too. Ringy dingy. Ringy dingy solder job. And then they have no protection, so this can just tip over and do anything. That's a sleazy solder joint. Both of them are. This one's somewhat better, but that's a sleaze job there. Definitely not a repairman. If it was, he shouldn't be repairing TVs and stuff because, or radios, because you don't know how to solder. But he sure bent that beautiful. It must have been a kit. But anybody can make mistakes like that. That's easy to do. Forget to solder it. That's easy to do. When I used to build amplifiers, I used to find weird things like that once in a while. So this is it on this, I guess. For now, until I do the capacitors, I'd like to restuff them, see if I can get those out. I have not been successful at that. Some of these resistors, I haven't checked any of them really yet, except for this one, that one, and that gain value. Not severely, but, and then this thing's got to go. This thing. I think that's supposed to be 6,000 ohms. It's at 10 watts. This is 4,700 ohms. It's supposed to be 6,000, so. So I'll hook up real quick and check that capacitor, see how it looks out. Then I can compare them against these things. You know, I can take these things and compare them off. I try not to use these. I try to use these or these, because once those are gone, then if you need one that exact size, you don't have them. Like, instead of using these, maybe use some of these. You never know. That's how I do things. Not in this. I put the exact one in this item. So I'll check the capacitors here. So this thing has just been on for a few minutes. Usually keep this power factor on 10 or 20. I don't know what that's about. Well, this is wide open at the bottom. So we'll try this thing all the way down. Now this cabinet cannot touch what you're testing. There's serious voltage between the two. I picked this up one time when I was testing something. I was getting that jibber jabber, poorly filtered voltage in me. So we'll see. This thing, I know it's closed. Now it's wide open. Let's go up here. Well, it's completely disconnected. This is giving me a sign like it's bad. It's totally open. Now it's closed. totally open. Now it's closed with fold over or whatever you want to call it. I'll go back down to the lowest level. It's wide open, counterclockwise. It closes up and stays closed up like it's bad. Go up another step. Same thing. Okay. Go over to here to, I always go down to electrolytic and pull it up one. See what happens here. Doesn't show any shorts, any leakage. It's wide open. It doesn't look like it, but it is. It's got a shadowy thing here. But maybe, let me unplug this wire once. Yeah, it's still there even with this disconnected. So I don't know if that capacitor is good or not. It's not showing me the value. It doesn't show, if I turn this all the way up, it doesn't show me anything bad. But if I go back here to the bottom scale, it's open. Oh, it's closing up, but it stays closed. It doesn't reopen like it's showing you a value of something. Okay, I'm going to pull out another 100 picofarads here and see what it does. Back on here, here it is. But I found my problem. This seemed to be kind of like it fell into my hand. So now I'm on the 10 to 5,000 and I do this. So it's closed with overlap. Now she's opening up. Now she's fully opened and she's closing again. So I'm going to call it this. Where is it? 100 picofarads. Okay. And it already tests, well, we'll go back up here to electrolytic, pull back one. I usually let it go on electrolytic, and sometimes I'll go like this and give it a little extra oomph and pull it back and go to the proper setting. It shows that it's just fine, even though it's can't see it there. Okay, it's completely open. I'll shut the voltage down. I noticed this thing was snapping when I was using it on some higher microfarad electrolytic, so I gotta really watch this thing. It was this was snapping inside of there, and I don't know why. It wasn't the potentiometer, it was snapping in the eye tube, sparking. So there she's, right there she's totally open, even though it doesn't look like it. There's a little shadowing there, but even with these leads disconnected, that shadowing's there. So here's all the way to the left. It's totally closed with now it's starting to open up. It's wide open at 100 picofarads. Now it's closing up again. So capacitor appears to be good, that one. So I will scrape that. Make sure this voltage is down. I will scrape this tube socket, and I will also scrape that and get a good solder joint and put it back in pin number 3 or whatever, the control grid. And this thing has 2 resistors adjacent to it. I did check this. This was a little over 400 hertz, I think. 450 or something, which is a fine tone. They have 2 resistors in here butted together. Where are they? Right down here for that. I think it was 2 resistors butted on the other mica. No, this is the RF. No, that would be the audio. Mixing it up. This is a little over 400 hertz. I can't remember by much. So this somebody butted 2 resistors together to make 18K. This one down here is a 15K. 15K down there. And the other one that it's around that capacitor is 6.8K. 6.8. This 470 ohm doesn't look like it looks like it could have been burnt, overheated, unless it's just the look. So I will resolder that. Seeing we got a clearance on that is good. I don't want to put any of these in. I want to try to keep it original, so I will solder that back in. And put the yellow jackets and the maroonies where these capacitors are and keep these in the cabinet so I can restuff them. They're awfully gooey ones, some of them. This one here is gooey. I don't like them when they're gooey. This ain't bad. There's one down here. So I'll just kind of soft solder them in so I can plan on restuffing them if I can figure out. I don't have the master plan on doing that successfully. And put the couple 33 microfarads in there. I think I have some. I think these are 10s. I'm not sure. 10. I can't read it through this. 450 volts, 10 and a 10. At 450 volts. So I got 47s at 450 volts, I think. I got a bunch of those. Don't know how old they are or whatever, but I will test them. I got to really trust. When I put them on here, I got to really, really move this thing slow. Really slow. Electrolytics. Anything over 47 microfarads, I got to move this thing like really slow or it's going to arc inside of here. I want to disconnect these tubes in my signal tracers so they're just sitting in there dead. I don't need them on a signal tracer. It does me no good. I go by my ears. That's it. I'd rather use a VTVM than looking at one of these things. So that's it on this. This is July 20th, 2024. Orange Beginner's Corner. Moving on. I wanted one of these things, but because it sounds like they have a finer adjustment, which I didn't really mind that they were kind of. You gotta sit there, hold your fingers on them, and try to move them back and forth to get the frequency on the frequency counter. But I like the blue face equipment. I like the blue face equipment. I never switched this. Not until I move on because I'm afraid it may not turn back on. My audio generator's like that. You gotta sit there and flick it 20, 30 times to turn it back on. So, but this, I have to get a piece of plexiglass cut for this. So if I go to 10.7, I think it's pretty right, pretty correct right there. But the 455, 455. I had just a glimpse time of it and then it was gone. So I think it was that capacitor got jarred. But I don't think it was on. I think it was off. So I adjusted the IFs on this one. That is paper. You can't clean that. Here's my poodles. I never really tried the shortwave. I should do it some night. Here's the parts for it, I think. A lot of my books here. Bunch of TV schematics and different things, photo facts that I just keep in these books. And these ones. All the stuff for my meters are here. Nothing but a mess. Signing off. There's one of my projects. That's a Fender reverb I built a long time ago. Let me get that padlock off of it. I built this years ago. Same as the Fender reverb. There's where the reverb hooks up right there. Send and return. Works pretty good. Never made a cabinet for it. Didn't need it. So I'm going to try to stay more into solid state stuff now that I'm 64 years old. So this is it. Out of here. Time to move on.